and obviously the big leader, SEBI. So last 2021, I've been observing this space. When REITs came, still if you are aware of Real Estate Investment Trust, which has been there from past decade, only 4 of or maybe 5 of companies went IPO, which is public, through REITs. But we know that, I mean, out of such a big volume of real estate in India, only 4 companies or 5 companies probably, which means there is low adoption or no adoption. Forget about asset tokenization or blockchain for a moment. I'm talking about REITs. And then miraculously, they've introduced small medium REITs. I call it as, a small brother of REITs. That time I still did not understand, when something is not worked out, as regulator, you introduced a version 2 of something else. And how is it like, you have to figure out the first one, then if that really pushes, then you introduce the second one. So I had this question always in mind. So they still went and released small medium REITs regulations. But this is the slide that actually happened just 3 days back, after a long time of my time spent. This was happened just 3 days back, and happy to share it with you. SEBI started looking into asset tokenization as part of SM REITs convergence, and see how this blockchain can actually help push SM REITs. So there is a clear path from SEBI that even until I could not meet them, but the moment I meet them, we noticed that regulators are actually proactive. Until then, I was also like, okay, you know what, they don't really care about blockchain, because most people think that, oh, crypto is blockchain, blockchain is crypto. But unfortunately and fortunately, most of the bureaucrats, or we call it as the decision makers, were well clear aware of the difference between blockchain and crypto. Let's talk about the practicality now. Okay, so far regulations in India still going on. Okay, like even Telangana government initiated asset tokenization framework, which I'll explain in a minute. So this, how many people aware of this one? Dubai did that great job by merging Vara and DLD just 2 months back, which is basically a Dubai land department, just like we have the revenue department of land in India. So they've successfully done it, tokenizing their first couple of assets. That brings down 3 months to 4 months of sales of real estate, which is, let's say, a commercial office space, a co-work space, or even a holiday space, into 2 minutes. And that's the power of blockchain. That's the, a true essence of blockchain that actually solves those 4 problems. And this is the, again, kind of a blueprint. You can download it. So as I mentioned, they've done that around close to $3 million worth of property in 1.58 seconds. 1 minute, 58 seconds. Using XRPL, you must have known Ripple XRPL, right? So they've been using the L1 layer. Come back to local, Telangana. I think out of all states in India, I've been, been in this space from past 2 years. Telangana taking really great steps, and this is the best example. When no one talks about tokenization, Telangana government is the one which actually talks about tokenization. Unfortunately, after the kind of first sandbox, as sir mentioned, the second sandbox is also picking up. I hope this adds great value to you if you guys figuring out the joining the sandbox. So let's talk about the crux of the Ryzer, as Ryzer is the asset tokenization platform that primarily focuses on rental yield assets. It's as simple as that. A platform play the role of platform, and you see a property can convert into an SPV, which is the globally well accepted ownership rights or ownership structure. So SPV is nothing but a company. Like we buy shares, right? Like that's the company, like a special purpose vehicle. So that special purpose vehicle owns the property. So that company deploys the shares and then converts into tokens. Basically a share, why we are even converting into a token? Why? We can use still dematerialized shares like demat using CDSL and NSDL depositories. That's where the difference come in the Web3 and Web2. Reason is, all these depositories, if you see, basically those are private companies. Okay, first, which means you all agree that's a central control. One single moment, one compliances, they'll stop, right? Which means all of our tokens or whatever units we call it as in our demats can be halted. and we can't go and fight. What if we create the inbuilt wallet system that competes with these depositories that takes days and months to just convert into shares into tokens? I mean, like, why they'll take 3 months to 4 months to convert? Like, what's going on? Because they've been using paper-based systems. And that's exactly what we as a community solves, right? So, and that comes with the system of having property manager onboarded. Think of property manager collected a rent. I'm just giving an example. And he kind of discussed with the tenant that you pay this much only, because he's the guy who actually manages property, right? We sit in somewhere else, we really don't know. So what if he tampers that rental amount that comes to the account of the SPV or the company that we all part of as a shareholders or a token holders, and now introduce this. So whenever the rent hits to the system, you have the ledger recorded, right? So it's real time. You don't need to ask, okay, give me the report. It's already there. And think of the same thing for property decision making power and rent controls, inputs, the transactions, and even the property legal data. So I'll put up another question. How many of you know, just a week back, Supreme Court released one verdict about, most of people aware of that? Anyone? Right? Oh, maybe hardly one or two. Okay, maybe this space is not, it's new for you, but so what Supreme Court says that if you have a title deed, like you purchased a flat and you said, oh, this is my property by having just a title deed, it's actually not proving the ownership. What Supreme Court says that you should also have the list of all attached documents and NOCs on the permissions, and then plus this document. And again, just think of what kind of technology solves this problem. Is it AI? Obviously DLT, no question at all, right? And this was just happened a week back, and again, I was also kind of surprised my team was exploring this, but how many people consider solving this true real problem? And think of a massive problem. This is, everyone has a home, everyone has land, everyone has a property, everyone has a voting rights, right? Anyway, so for the time of it, so I'm just skipping. So couple of things. My move, we are part of Qatar's financial center sandbox. We are the first among the first sandbox from Qatar, which they've initiated a regulatory framework for all the digital assets, especially for tokenization. So what we did, we initiated with office spaces in Hyderabad. We moved to holiday homes in Goa. These are all real assets which we did it, tokenized, might not aware of it. Hotels, we started with resort projects recently in Hyderabad, and then also co-living spaces. And co-living spaces is a really good market as well. And as we all taken inspiration from Nandan on the space of asset tokenization, these are some updates for us. So we got funded from Ripple and also through T-Hub, you might aware, in the name of XDC. Because again, we were not, as a small team of 20 members, we were not behind the funds. We were always focused on what needs to be built. So this is a kind of a suggestion or kind of a push from our end. We were planned to propose to Telangana government and emerging technologies department in the name of Telangana Crux, which is a commercial real estate unified exchange that basically helps bringing a regulatory license for all the platforms like us and you to be part of a real estate unified exchange licenses, so that the government give us license to operate by putting compliances, legal and further whatever. So this is one thing which we are kind of focusing as part of our next 2-3 milestones, or you call it as roadmap. And yeah, thank you very much.